let's talk about how to sell a house. I promise you, it is not rocket science. The vast majority of the UK is traditional housing, 2-bed terraces, 3-bed semis, that sort of stuff. Very little of the UK housing market is that unusual, let's say, sort of over £500,000 in Leicester type property. So it can be fairly straightforward, and the process can just run for any type of house of that ilk, really. And the number one factor in getting your house sale correct is its pricing strategy. I don't care what anybody else says, you can do the best marketing in the world, but if the price is wrong that you're asking for the house, it will not get interest. If you don't get interest, you don't get viewings. If you don't get viewings, you don't get offers. If you don't get offers, you don't sell your house. Most buyers now are very savvy. They know what they're talking about. They know what's happening with house prices in the areas that they are looking. So you need to be exactly the same. You need to look at it from a buyer's point of view. Get your estate agent in by all means to have a look and give an appraisal, but you shouldn't be a million miles away on price between yourselves and the estate agents realistically, if you're being honest with yourself, which is very important. When I go to value a property, I look at 3 different types of price. We've got the bottom end of the market, which is your quick sale price. That is if you want to sell that house tomorrow, not next week, not the week after, tomorrow. What would it sell for? At the other end of the market, you've got the top end. So that's your hope price. You've got to be very lucky to get that price. You need to find Mr. and Mrs. Perfect. Mum and dad live 2 doors away. They need help with childcare. It's less than half a mile to work. It's got the big garden that they're looking for because they want a vegetable patch and they've got a cattery that they run. It's got loads of off-road parking because Mr. sells a few cars on the side as well. But finding those people is very, very difficult. So getting that absolute top price in the market is very, very tough. Now, one question that I get asked, do estate agents overvalue property to win your business? Yeah, of course they do. They're liars, a lot of them. So you do need to be really careful. It's not unheard of to go to a house that's worth, say, 250 and the people have been told 300 or 325, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. I see it every single day of the week. Some agents are worse than others. I won't name any of them, but big corporate estate agents can be an absolute nightmare because they are on target to put houses on market. Easiest way to put houses on market is tell people it's worth more than it actually is. Now, I've mentioned that buyers are getting more savvy with things, and it's been like that for probably about the last 10 years, and it's no coincidence. It combines with the rise in social media and people talking to each other and knowing what's going on. So that's really changed the way that we actually look at and appraise property now. It used to be the case where I'd go and sit down in someone's house and I'd be there for like 90 minutes or even 2 hours in some cases, just going through things with them, looking at pricing, looking at how houses are sold and things like that. But in the vast majority of cases now, people have already done a lot of their own research in terms of how houses are sold. They've looked on social media, they have seen some houses they like through Rightmove or Zoopla or again on Facebook or Instagram, things like that. And they want that sort of promotion now. They want that social media promotion that they can then share it with their friends and things like that. So the whole process, like the life we lead now, has just sped up massively compared to when I first started an estate agency nearly 2 decades ago. Now, in terms of getting more money for your property, which is what everybody wants, there's 3 ways that you can really push price without necessarily having to do loads to the property. Number 1, if you're in a very, very exclusive location, then you can potentially push price for what it is. So like a 2-bed terrace that's in a massively sought after village where nothing comes up for sale, that's probably going to be worth more than a 2-bed terrace even in the next village across. Number 2, if it's absolutely stunning, and I mean like a show home, granite worktops, big either Velux windows or lantern roofs on a lovely extension across the back of the kitchen, big bifold doors, 3 massive double bedrooms, couple of en-suites. Like, it just blows everything else out of the water in that same location. And lastly, the way you can really push price is if you've got something a bit unusual with the property that could be worth a lot of money to certain people. So big corner plots where you can build another house, that's one way you might get a bit more money. If you've got like a normal 3-bed semi that's then got a paddock at the back, that's going to be worth a lot more to certain people. So it's those sort of things, but it does need to be very, very unique. And again, it doesn't happen very often. Now, if you've not got one of those three things, but you still want to get as much money as you can, get the place tidied up, get it as clean as possible in terms of just stuff being around. It doesn't need to be fully redecorated or fully show home standard, because that's going to cost you a fortune. But in terms of quick wins, definitely decluttering is the biggest win that you can do and not have to spend a fortune. And then just get niggly bits sorted that aren't going to cost you lots of money. If you've got like a couple of issues with doors, if there's a little bit of mold in places, if there's a bit of touching up, a few holes in walls, maybe the bath panel needs replacing, really quick and simple fixes. And then do the same with the garden as well. That would be the way forward, really, if you don't want to spend a fortune but you still want to maximise price. So we've talked about pricing, but what about speed? If speed is more important for you, then what are the best ways to sell a property fast? Now, there's two trails here. There's, I want to agree a sale fast and then go through a normal solicitor process, or I need it sold, done, and off my hands through the completion process as quickly as possible. So if we look at the first one, to get the best interest possible, pricing again is going to be absolutely key, because you can throw drone video, drone photography, upgraded internet marketing, you can do open houses, you can do everything. But if the price is wrong, it will not agree sale fast. So the easiest way to agree a fast sale is we do like an open day strategy where you underprice the house on the market. So a bit like how an auction works. So we'll guide price it at a lower figure to get stacks of interest. That will get all the viewers there that could possibly want to come and view it. We let the price then ride back up with all the interest that it's got, and then you look at the offers that you've got on the table, see if any of those work for you. Realistically, we can agree a sale probably in like a week to 10 days with that strategy in a normal housing market. So around Leicester, again, 2-bed terraces, 3-bed semis, little 1-bed flats that are investment properties, that sort of thing. Once you get up to like the 4-bed detached market, it's a bit trickier just because there's not as many buyers around, whereas at that lower end of the market, there's stacks and stacks of people that are still looking for property up to, say, 250 or 300. But if you need to get a property done, dusted, sold and out the other end as fast as you can, then there's no better approach than using auction. Two different ways that you can do an auction. You can either do a traditional auction or you can do a modern method of auction, and I'll touch on those for you now. Modern method of auction is a little bit different. So what we do there is the house goes up for sale, and that's a bit more like eBay. So the bids build up over a period of either 4, 7, 10, 14 days, and then at the end of that process, the buyers pay a reservation fee. That then allows them 56 days usually to exchange contracts on the property, but because they've got some skin in the game with a non-refundable reservation fee, it's much more likely to go through. So not as quick as traditional auction, but it opens it up to mortgage buyers, so there's a chance of you getting a better price because there's more buyers out there that can buy it. So it's still quick, just not as quick as a traditional auction method. So if we're looking at speed, traditional auction, absolutely, that's the fastest, but could be potentially the lowest price. Modern method of auction, middle one, still going to get quite good speed on the property, but you might get a little bit more money than you would at traditional auction. And then finally, open market will be the slowest way to actually get the house sold, completed and all the way through, because people can pull out at any time with very little consequences.